there's two things about football. There's the mental game and then there's the physical game. When you're a player, you want to get mentally locked in, and then you're like so focused on what your job is, blah blah blah. And then when you go to Iowa, not to mention it's a night game, and you got to do that wave, and you hear about these children's story, it kind of like makes you take a step back and like lose your focus a little bit, because you're waving to the kids. You're probably a little bit emotional about hearing their stories and all this other, like all the other struggles they go through. And then you got to go play against Iowa, one of the hardest defenses to play. What's going on? You Don't Know Ball podcast. Welcome to a Friday afternoon version of the You Don't Know Ball podcast. I know usually you're ready to have our show by 7 a.m., but it was a busy week for the boys, and we had to find a day what would work. So you're getting this a little later in Friday. So we apologize for any inconvenience that there was, but don't worry, we brought an absolute banger of an episode for you. Today we have Caleb and Alex and myself. Today, no Jack again. He'll be back hopefully next week. We'll see. He's a busy man nowadays. But yeah, how you guys doing?
Hey man, I'm ready to do something that's not work. I just started my full-time job this week, so I don't know how long it took you guys to get used to it, but yeah, I'm just ready to do something else that's not what I've been doing for the past 4 days. So yeah, I'm ready to talk some. Also, it's nice that we're not doing the chat for this week as well. I'm ready to talk college football. I educated myself this week, and I'm ready to share some opinions.
Well, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It's nice not to be doing a hypothetical on it, but like college football matchups. We're doing actual like real life stuff again. So I'm excited to do this content as well. Alex, how are you? Kind of quiet.
I'm good. I'm just ready to get this started. I'm going to try not to be as biased as possible, because I have a tendency of doing that on this podcast. And Isaac, I'm just going to circle back to the ChatGPT thing. I bet you feel happy to move on because you just came off your first national championship. Yeah, so you want to soak that in for as long as you can.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be glad if we never went back to that season, as I just retired as the last champion. But, I guess that's not how it works. But
Jack's team's already back at whatever camp they're at.
Yeah, that's why Jack's not here. He's whipping his team into shape even more than he was last year.
Exactly.
For all you ChatGPT fans, we'll have another episode of that next month or sometime soon. So don't worry, it's not going anywhere. It's just going to become a monthly episode. So
yep, history is still to be made, but
but
go back, relive the glory days of my team if you're really keen.
Episodes, what was it, like 55?
53. It was like 54 through 59, dude. It was like we did that for a while.
Right in there, it was fun. I still have fun with it. I just wanted to get to this. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. But what are we doing today, Isaac?
All right, let's get going. So today we are going to rank the top 10 hardest places to play, or top 10 like best places to play for college football. So we have a bunch of different stadiums. I just pulled some of the top 20s out of like whatever research I did, or in my personal opinion that should be in there. So, and I told Alex and Caleb, like, hey, bring your top 10 or bring stadiums that you think are worthy of being top 10 into the podcast today, and we'll see where we want to rank them. So for all the audio listeners who can't see, we have Beaver Stadium, that's Penn State. We have Ohio Stadium, that's Ohio State. Stanford Stadium, Georgia. Bryant Denny Stadium, Alabama. We have the Big House for Michigan, Kyle Field for Texas A&M, Gaylord Field, Family Field for Oklahoma, Autzen Stadium for Oregon. We have Tiger Stadium for LSU, or known as Death Valley. We have Doak A. Campbell Stadium for Florida State, Lane Stadium for Virginia Tech. We have Neyland Stadium for Tennessee, Kinnick Stadium for Iowa, Notre Dame Stadium for Notre Dame, Memorial Stadium for Nebraska. We have Ben Hill Griffin Stadium for Florida. We have Death Valley for Clemson. We have Williams Bryce Stadium, South Carolina. Sorry. And then we have Texas Memorial Stadium. And then we have Washington Husky Stadium. So a bunch of good selections in my opinion. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, this is going to be really hard. I think the 1 through 6 is going to be pretty easy for us. I think there's some givens there, but our 7 through 10, I think all of us are going to have to debate a little bit to see
Oh yeah.
what teams we can get there, because that's really where this list boils down to. But also, I think where we put 1 through 6 could also be interesting as well, because there's a lot of good picks here for I think it's a pretty obvious number 1, but I think there's a lot of good picks that could go anywhere from 2 to 5. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. Yeah, it's gonna. There's a couple of stadiums where I want to be in the top 10 that you guys might not agree with, but there's one stadium that I'm like, I don't know, the take I'm gonna make for it it's not gonna get me canceled, but I'm not sure how people are gonna take it. So we'll see. But if you guys are ready to kick this off, we can get started right away.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's do it.
I would love to hear one of your guys's, who do you think should go number 1? Either of you. I'm curious to hear the Row Boys' opinion.
Alex, you can go first.
I think the Penn State Stadium should go number 1. Just because we've seen the whiteout games and that environment down in Penn State is just insane, and they definitely make an impact on those games. And being a Michigan fan, having to experience two whiteouts in the last, I don't know, 5 to 10 years that I've watched, and they both were, one was a blowout and then one was right to the end of the game. But the fans definitely impacted the game on that. So I'm gonna say Penn State, but a close second I would probably say Nebraska at one point, maybe, but I still think Penn State.
Isaac, how about you?
I'm going to go Penn State as well. I mean, that whiteout effect is insane. I mean, it's kind of hard to beat when you see the absolute stadium atmosphere on a big game day and Beaver Stadium, especially when Ohio State comes to town and they have a whiteout game. I remember that, what was it, 5 or 6 years ago now, and they upsetted them. And then the Michigan game, that's a really iconic one, that first play when Shea Patterson in the offense for Michigan rolled out there, and first play of the game was a delay of game, just because they can't hear anything. And then, there's a bunch of moments in that game where where that stadium's just iconic for being just so hard to play in. So, yeah, probably Beaver Stadium for me as well.
Yeah, I was between 2. Penn State was one of the 2, and I think just in terms of, I think you guys got it right on the nose. That was a good one to lead off with, Alex, and I tail that the best college football game I've ever watched was that Michigan-Penn State game. And, yeah, Michigan came back, almost won it, but, man, that atmosphere was just amazing to see.
Insane.
Firsthand. So, yeah, anytime Michigan and Penn State play each other there is great. So I'm totally fine with putting them at 1.
Yeah,
Yep.
I mean, it's really hard to beat. I mean, there's a reason why they're the number 1 stadium in the new college football game that came out. It's just, and the history adds up of like how many top 10 teams go in there to die. So yeah, I agree. So all right, well, if we agree on them being number 1, I guess that kind of makes that selection pretty easy.
We should put like a colon sign that Beaver Stadium. This is probably be so wild, but Beaver Stadium is only hard to play in at night, because we've seen a 2-7 Illinois team come in there and roll and win in a 7 overtime game, and then I don't know. I mean, Michigan beat them in 2021 at a 3:30 game. I mean, I think the night effect in Happy Valley is definitely a different atmosphere than a noon.
A big noon kickoff
environment. Yeah.
That's a really good take. I don't think that's wild at all, actually. I didn't even think about that.
Right, because there was a couple of years where Penn State was just really mid and like bad, and the stadium. There's only so much the stadium atmosphere could do for you when you have a semi-average team, or not an average team, a bad team. So all good.
Yeah, but and think if Ohio State and Penn State played it at night this past year, maybe that game would have been a little different. But you could just tell that people were upset that Penn State didn't have a whiteout game against that for that game. They had it against Iowa or whoever they had.
No, I
But
think they had a whiteout light game against Illinois last year. They didn't, and that was the only night game that was like big time in my mind.
yeah,
And
that's
all
right.
credit to
Yeah,
Illinois. They were a really good team last year of Luke
yeah.
Altmaier and their head coach. What's his name? Oh no, I just listened to this.
Bellingham was
Uh,
Bellingham. Starts with a B.
Whatever. They were a really
Yeah,
good team, but that's not Ohio State. That's not like Michigan. That's not
yeah.
like
Michigan
that's not the
sucked
big
this
teams in
year.
the conference when you want a night out game. You
Yeah,
want like the Michigans and Ohio States. So no
even
knock on
Oregon
any other
now,
or Oregon. Then that's
and
but
they
then
do have
they're getting them this
yeah,
year. So
yeah. As a
that was
pen,
big news as
what up?
well.
Yep.
So no knock on any other Big Ten school, but if you're Penn State, you definitely want to see a big name school.
Yep.
All right. While we wait for Caleb, I guess we could get going. Do you want, Alex, you want to start at 10 and go up to 1, or you want to start at 1 and work down?
Well, I don't care. I mean, we can do 10 to work up to 1, but I figured that we all know who number 1 was going to be, so it's probably just
Yeah.
got it off right off the bat. So let's go from 10 to 1, 10 to 2
I
now.
think the debates really are going to start starting at 2. Like, once we get
Yeah.
to, like, the top, I mean, number 1 was a gimme in my opinion, but once you get to 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, it's all up for grabs for
Yep.
a lot of these schools with big stadiums. So it'll definitely be I don't know, I'm excited to get to one stadium, and they're not even one of my favorite teams. They're just it's just a hard place to play, and I know that because I've seen a lot of top 10 schools go to die there, and no one really talks about like there's the stadium's atmosphere and the thing that happens outside the stadium that all the players like are brought to their attention to. So
Yeah.
it's definitely something, and I we'll get there when we get there. But you know what? Let's just start with 10, Alex. If you want to say your the school you want to start with.
Uh,
Oh,
let's
let me
do.
inform Caleb. Let me inform Caleb real quick.
What'd we do?
Caleb,
What'd we do?
we're gonna go. We were just talking of like what order we want to go in. So I think we're gonna, since we kind of agreed that number 1 was the gimme of this list, but we're gonna go from 10 to 1.
Oh, okay.
So, but I was just asking Alex like, hey, where do you want, if you want to start, go ahead. So we're starting with Big Row.
So I think that this one is a good stadium to play in, and being at number 10 is really good to be on this list. I mean, there's no stadium on this list is not like a bad place to play in, or not a hard place to play in. But at number 10, I'm gonna put Iowa's stadium for me, because Iowa is tough team to play at night there. They have really good traditions with the wave to the hospital, which is super cool. But and you're comparing it to all the other stadiums that are on this list. I don't see Iowa's stadium comparing to the big dogs on this list. So 10 is a good spot for Iowa. And yeah, what do you guys think?
You know what? I was gonna put someone else there, but after thinking about it a little bit more, I agree that that's a good place for Iowa. I mean, this is the stadium that I was just talking about. Like the take I'm gonna make is gonna it's not gonna get me canceled, but it's gonna get a couple of looks. But there's two things about football. There's the mental game and then there's the physical game. When you're a player, you want to get mentally locked in, and then you're like so focused on what your job is, blah blah blah. And then when you go to Iowa, not to mention it's a night game, and you got to
Yep.
do that wave, and you hear about these children's story. It kind of like makes you take a step back and like
Yep.
lose your focus a little bit because you're waving to the kids. You're probably a little bit emotional about hearing their stories and all this other, like all the other struggles they go through. And then you got to go play against Iowa, one of the hardest defenses to play. And we've seen a lot. I'm not going to say that's one of the reasons why a lot of top 10 teams lose there, but it could have an effect on them. I mean, we've seen Michigan lose there. We've seen Penn State get drawn down to the wire there. We've
Ohio
seen
State lost there,
Ohio
blown
State
out.
get blown out there. I mean, it's definitely a stadium that comes to mind of like being a hard place to play, and I agree that 10 is the perfect place for Iowa to be playing.
Yeah. And another thing is about that stadium is that their benches are right on, like, there's not a lot of sideline on that stadium as well for
No,
both
not at
teams.
all.
So that's also a mental factor in that stadium as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Caleb?
I think you guys got it right on the nose. I'm not saying I agree, but I do think number 10 is a really, really good spot for Iowa. And, there's nothing else I can say about the stadium that hasn't been said already. I think the defense does a lot of work, helping them boys light up. Their defense really gives the fans hope that they can win these big games.
Yeah.
And they do sometimes, but the
No, absolutely.
defense is really what ignites a crowd. So that for sure plays into it. I'm curious now, like, I want to bring a team to the fray that I would have put at 10 if I put 10 teams down. I'm curious what you guys think of Husky Stadium. They currently hold the record for the highest decibel amount reached out of any college team or out of any college stadium fan noise wise. And very similar to Seattle Stadium with like the dome coverage. Gets really cold there in November. Tough place to play. Huskies, they're playing they play in the Big Ten now, but prior to that, they played in a conference where they were pretty dominant. And I think that's just that was just what I was thinking about in my research for this. And also they were 7-0 last year at home. So I don't think that can go understated as well. So I just think those things were something that to me maybe would give them a chance to be top 10, but definitely at number 10. So I'm just curious what you think about that. And if we don't want to put it at 10, that's fine. If we do want to put it at 10, we can move Iowa up a spot. But at that point, it's like, okay, we have Iowa and Husky Stadium. So I don't know. So I'm curious what you guys think of that.
Right. No, Caleb, that's not a bad take at all. I mean, like you said, they had the highest decibel sound recorded in a stadium is it in the world or in the country? I don't really know.
Out of college like football history, they have recorded the highest.
Right. So I agree that they deserve to be a top 10 stadium. I just don't know if we have enough spots to fit them in. I would say they're guaranteed like 11 or 12 in that range, but I don't know. They even went 7-0 at home. I don't even think about that. So it's definitely a thing that I would consider to put them at 10. And they've been better than Iowa as of late. So I don't know. I'm good with either of these teams being at 10. So Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, I think. Okay, sorry. I'm just gonna say my
vote
vote goes for Huskies because that's my team that I wanted to be in it. So my vote's gonna go there, but it's totally up to y'all because it seems like you're for Iowa. But yeah, Alex.
No, I don't.
What you got for this?
I can't stand Iowa, so taking him off the list would be great. We could put Washington up there. I mean, we just saw Michigan go to Washington this last year, and that was a really tough place to play for them, and they ended up losing. But yeah, I mean, I'm okay with putting Washington up there. I mean, no digs to Iowa, but yeah, now I'm gonna switch my mindset to thinking the top 10 bet, like, out of all college football, out of the 20. Well, we have 20 here.
Yeah.
On the list. You got to pick the top 10, not the crappiest of the best. Well, they're not. It's not crappy, but but yeah,
you guys picking Husky Stadium kind of seals the deal because I'm still gonna stick with Iowa as my top 10, but it's 2v1, so we're gonna put Husky Stadium in there. So Husky Stadium is now number 10, and that we can maybe put Iowa later in the top 10. I know I'm not, but
I'm definitely not.
I think later on, though, Huskies might be getting bounced out, though. So this is just like for now,
Right.
And also,
right.
we could do this like instead of 9, and then we say who we think should be there. Why don't we just go through the teams on the list and then say like, oh, they could be at 9 or something like that. Like what team is next, and then we can pick a spot to place them.
So we have Ohio State next.
Oh boy, that's got it. Sorry, Alex, but they got to be on the list, right? I mean,
yeah, they're absolutely on the list.
they're guaranteed in the top 10. I know where I will put them. I'm gonna put them at.
I don't
at
think
4.
I think they're just really, really good. And a byproduct of that is having very, very passionate fans and a
Oh
good
yeah,
stadium. I don't think they're definitely a tough place to play, but it's not because of like anything stadium or fans wise. I don't think so. I would put them at like 5 or 6 to be honest, but we can make like an average out of all of our placings.
right.
I'm good with 5.
I was gonna put them at 4 just because it's still a hard place to play. I mean, yes, granted, the team is really good every year, and the fans are really loud. But I don't know. I'm good with putting them at 5 for now. I think that's a good place. I like Ohio State at 5.
Yeah, I do too.
All right. So if everybody's good with 5, right now we have Penn State at 1, Ohio State at 5, and then Washington at 10. So we can't go every 5 anymore. So.
oh boy, here we go. Yeah, no more.
Some
no
of
more
these
mids.
ones.
No more mid ones. This next
Man.
one though, I think. Yeah, it's gonna be.
It's
interesting.
good.
This
It's
one's
gonna be
tough.
interesting. So we got Michigan Stadium next. Alex, I'll let you start off because this is your favorite state. This is your favorite team. So go ahead.
Yeah, there's no way this one's under Ohio State. There's no way. This is the biggest stadium in the United States. It holds 110,000. It held 111,000 for the Notre Dame game in 2012. I bet you remember that, Isaac. Denard Robinson. Yeah, there's no way I'm sorry, but I would rather see Michigan at 5 and bump Ohio State down to 6 because we still have to talk about Alabama. We still have to talk about Georgia, LSU, freaking all Florida State, all on this list, and we all know that they deserve to be on this list. I don't know about Florida State anymore, but back in the day, but there's no way Ohio State Stadium is better than Michigan's. You have been there, Isaac. You've been to the 2021 Michigan game. You remember how electric that was and how many people were there. And Joel Klatt even has mentioned this literally this past week about that stadium being at number 4 ever that he's been to. So I'm not trying to be biased, but there's no way Ohio State Stadium is better than Michigan's.
I don't think you're being biased at all. I would put these guys at 3.
This is gonna piss you off, Alex, but I'm gonna put them at 8. I'm gonna put them at 8.
I'm sorry. Then there's no way Ohio State Stadium is 5.
No, there is absolutely a way that they're 5.
How?
Why are they at 8 though?
Michigan hasn't been good. It wasn't good for I don't know a handful of years after 2020. Then they started to get good. I mean, yes, they're the biggest stadium. Yes, they held the most people, but from what I hear from a lot of other testimonies about how loud it gets, they're still top 10, but they're not top 5. And
then Ohio State's not top 5.
Theirs is more of a bowl shape. Yours is more out open.
Yeah, theirs is a toilet bowl. That's what theirs is.
They do call that the toilet bowl stadium. I'd be good with putting them at 6, but just based off record, just based off the most.
You want to talk about record? You want to talk about record the last two years we played at Ohio State?
You want to talk about the previous 9?
Do you want to talk about Michigan's national championship and whatever? Sure.
I'm sorry, Alex, but I'm sticking with 6 through 8 is where I'm about to put them. But
I don't understand why. How is the Big House? Big House is iconic. It's an iconic stadium. I think it's a really tough place to play. And like I said, this might be counterintuitive to the argument I had last time with like the byproduct of a good team. But I mean, I feel like Michigan, just based off eye test and just what I know about college football, and I've only experienced college football probably since like middle school, but even then, man, Michigan Stadium, I feel like I've just always thought this inherently that it's a harder place to play than Ohio State. And I think Big
Yeah.
House, with how iconic it is, Michigan's always got a shot to win if they're playing in the Big House. And I know they've only been, they've been really, really good the past couple of years, but the Big House has always been the Big House. So I think they got to at least be top 5.
And I want to make another point. We have Washington Stadium on there for the loudest sound ever recorded in college football, and they're at 10. There's no way Michigan is at 8. Two spots better than Washington, and Michigan has been good. They are the biggest stadium, and they have one of the loudest fan bases in the country. And just because Michigan was ass for about 14 years still doesn't mean it was hard to play in.
Let's ask Ohio State for those 14 years about how easy it was.
Oh, I bet they're so delusional they won't say anything. They're so delusional, all of them.
I know. All right, you know what?
So where do we put this, fellas? Where do we put this?
I'll bend my leeway and I'll put them at 5. But I'll
just put Michigan and Ohio State there at 5 right now.
We'll put them as a tie. I think that's a good. What is it? What's the word I'm looking for?
Compromise.
Debate.
Compromise. Yes, it's a good compromise. Because I didn't want to put them under Ohio State, but I didn't want to also I just knew that they were above Ohio State in my head. But they're definitely I definitely agree that they're tied. I just don't think either one of them is ahead of each other, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Ask Donovan Edwards.
I'm sure it was really quiet after that long touchdown run, Alex. I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
All right.
Who's next?
I believe this is Bryant Denny Stadium of Alabama.
3.
I think this is the top four school for me as well. I mean, this is the electric place to play, especially at night games. I know I have a day game picture right there, but there's 2 games that come to mind. It's when they played LSU in 2019. That atmosphere was so sick. And then the other game that I'm thinking about, oh gosh, what was it?
Was it this year?
Georgia. Yeah, they hosted Georgia this past year. That was also sick. And that stadium's just so iconic for their national championships, team success, fan loyalty, Roll Tide, Blitz Bama Blitz, all that good stuff. You even see Drewski wearing overalls down in Alabama with all those people. So there's a culture that's around this stadium that brings people together and wins. So definitely 3 for me.
I like them at 4.
4.
But both y'all picked 3, so just got to go there.
I'll put him at 3.
Yeah,
I think there's only one. I think there's only one stadium that's better than Alabama's in this.
Ooh,
at 2.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited for when that comes up.
Well, it might come up very soon. We don't know. So next stadium we have is Stanford Stadium of the Georgia Bulldogs.
Man, this might be another team we got to throw at like 5. I'm not sure where to put these guys. I don't know.
I'd be okay with putting them at 7 or 6. I'm not gonna say 6, 7 because I can see the comments. Oh, he said it. But I'm good with putting them in that range because it's not until after 2021 were they actually really all that good, and team success has been fairly recent. There's only a handful of games that I can reach out of my hand that I thought like the crowd definitely played a part in their wins. There was the first game that came out in their black jerseys. There was a game against Notre Dame when Notre Dame traveled to 2019. Georgia, and now recently it's been hard to play there, especially at night. That Georgia Tech game.
Yeah, I was about to mention that one.
Yeah, so I like them at 7, preferably for me, but I'll let you guys decide.
I think just because their success has been so recent, I'm fine with going 7 as well. Because we're gonna have a hodgepodge of teams that we place at 4, 5, 6. So let's put them at 7.
Alex, what do you think? You like
Yeah,
7?
I agree with 7. I think that stadium is really hard to play at, but yeah, I think that's a good spot for them.
Especially when they had the mailman at under center,
Yeah,
Stinson Bennett.
Stenson Bennett.
All right, so this brings us to our next stadium. We have Kyle Field of Texas A&M. This stadium, I did put the capacity of these stadiums. I don't know if you want me to read them off real quick, but
Yeah, sure.
okay. So Beaver Stadium holds 106,572 people. Ohio State Stadium holds 102,780. Michigan Stadium holds 107,601.
110. That's bullshit.
111,000. Sorry, Alex. I just looked it up. I just took off whatever the first Google search said. I just said, all right, cool.
Here,
But
I'll give you the exact
give us
number
the highest number you have in your notes, because I know you take notes every time you go to a Michigan game.
The highest that I've gotten was 111,156 people, and that was for the Ohio State game in 2021. I'm pretty sure.
Well, there you have it, guys. We just
Wow.
fact check Google. Fact check Google. Get
smoked.
I don't even know the CEO of Google, but whatever. What is next? Stanford Stadium. I believe that was. Oh gosh, I have so many notes here. 93,033 people. Bryant Denny Stadium was 100,077. I'm sure most of these stadiums can hold more than that. It's just the first Google search I had. And then Husky Stadium holds 70,138 people, which is insane to me because they are the loudest stadium recorded.
Yeah.
Well, it might help that their stadium's a little smaller, so it keeps all that sound.
It's structurally designed to keep it in sound, I think.
Uh-huh.
So, all right. But back to where we were. We're at Kyle Field, Texas A&M Stadium. I know where I'm going to put this stadium because of one reason.
Go ahead.
12th man.
Yeah.
Same as Seattle. The fans are so rowdy. I mean, Notre Dame played there last year, and every single one of them said it was the hardest and the most fun to play at Kyle Field. And there's a reason why a lot of teams like Alabama, Alabama and Texas. I know Texas, they just beat their ass there this past season. But in previous years when that rivalry was still together, a lot of top 10 teams to go there to die because of that reason and just how loyal those fans are. It's almost like a cult. So that's where I'm putting Kyle Field for Texas A&M.
I'm putting him at 2.
That's where I put him. Yep.
You guys put them at 2?
Yeah.
Wow. I probably would have threw them around 5 and we could figure it out later type stuff. But if y'all want them at 2, you can put them at 2.
Bro, we can't.
Why do you think they're at 5, Caleb?
Because I think there's a better stadium than them coming up. So
okay. I'll
Does it start with an L?
Perhaps.
All right. Next stadium we have is Oklahoma.
I don't see this one being ranked.
I think it's Oklahoma.
This might be our first miss. Yeah.
Yeah, this is not in my top 10. It's a hard place to play. Oklahoma's typically a really good team, but they just miss, and this is our first miss, I think, for the top 10. So yeah, Oklahoma's not making my list. Sorry.
That's fair.
Sorry, all Boomer Sooner fans.
All right.
They can prove me wrong in August. No, September.
Oh, yeah, because Michigan plays there this year. So I guess we'll see what happens.
Yep.
All right, so if Oklahoma is not making it, that means it's taking us to our next stadium, which is, I'm sorry to all the Oregon fans, but Autzen Stadium in Oregon.
This one.
Stadium?
Yep.
Yeah. Go ahead, Caleb.
I'll start this one. I think this one's a solid 9.
Yeah.
And that's because
I think this one's.
I think college football 26 literally ranked this one as the 9th top places to play. And I thought that was a perfect spot for it. You know, kind of the same argument as the Husky thing. I don't think their stadium also gets very loud. They have passionate fans, kind of like all these other teams do. And they're in Oregon, man. It gets cold there in the winter once it starts getting to be winter time. So, other teams that come by, they're not used to that. So I think Autzen, you know, it can be 9 for now, but also can be moved down. I also don't think it's that special of a stadium, so I can see it being pushed off the list later on.
I like having them at 9. I think it's a good stadium, and like I said, I think it's structurally built to hold in the sound because they know they don't have the numbers for holding all the people like these other stadiums do, and they make up for it in the structural design. And not to mention, Oregon's usually pretty good as of late as well.
They were undefeated at home, just like Washington was.
So we have is that the West Coast? Yeah, the West Coast undefeated at home.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like them at 9. That's a good take, Caleb. I like that a lot.
Thanks. What do you think, Alex?
No, I completely agree. A lot of stadiums couldn't really compete with Oregon's this year. I feel like because of that game that I had against Ohio State earlier in the year. I definitely think that stadium definitely helped Oregon in that game because we saw what happened later that year in the Rose Bowl. But yeah, I think this is a perfect spot for the Ducks.
Hopefully they stay there.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't think they're going to move anywhere because none of us had any arguments about having them. I didn't have an argument putting them at 9. So
yeah, the only thing that's going to move them is if we keep getting teams that go at like 5 or 6, and then they just have to get knocked down.
How many spots do we have open? I think we have 3.
We have 8, 6, and 4.
Well, technically, there's only 2 spots open because Michigan and Ohio State.
Because Michigan and Ohio State.
Honestly, I'd be okay with making a graphic of where they split aside, because I don't want to give either one of them the lead, but I know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be calling for our throats if we do that. So we'll chat about it in about I don't know, maybe 20 minutes. So
all right.
So all right, let's move on to the next stadium. We have Death Valley LSU version, Tiger Stadium.
4.
This is another high stadium in my book.
I would have had them at 2 personally, but if 4 is the one spot we got left, what do we have at 3 right now?
We have Bryant, Denny, and I was just thinking about that.
I was just thinking about flipping them as well.
In my world, I would have LSU 2. Probably, honestly, Alabama over Kyle Field, and then Kyle Field at 4. But what do you guys think?
I would be okay with having Alabama 4, Kyle Field 3, and then Death Valley LSU 2.
Okay.
Sure.
Alex, what do you think?
I'm just thinking like this college football 2025 put Texas A&M Stadium as the number 1 hardest place to play at the beginning of that year. And I don't know if that means anything, but I don't know. I'm okay with it for now, I think. But the SEC fans are going to be very happy with what we have here. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Except for one in particular, Grayson.
Grayson's going to be pissed, but whatever. He's not here. I guess we could have invited him on this part because we were missing a host, but he'll be all right.
I think he would have agreed with us.
Yeah, I honestly think he would have been. He would have been. Oh yeah, SEC on top always.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I think this is good. I like the adjustment we just made there. So
I'll have to pay more attention to Kyle Field. I guess I don't know. I'll have to pay more attention to their games.
You needed to watch their.
Sorry, yeah, come to one of our. You can come to my house, Ball studio, to watch a game with us, and I'll show you a Texas A&M game, especially a big one. So
you need to watch on your own time the walkout for Texas A&M. They just brought back this past year.
Like the Notre Dame Texas A&M rerun. Just watch those first 5 minutes when the team's walking out of the tunnel. It's ridiculous. But all right, so that brings us. So Oklahoma's a miss, and that brings us to death. I think this is Virginia Tech famous for their Metallica. I think it's Enter Sandman song as they're running out on the field. I'm gonna leave this. I want Caleb to start with this one because he's got a smile on his face.
Well, in my eyes, we only have one spot left. The last team that I have is coming up very soon that I would want to be on the list. So Virginia Tech's gonna have to bite the dust for me. And I just don't think. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not a
I
Virginia
agree.
Tech fan, so I can't speak on their stadium. It's just I've seen this other environment before, and I just got to go with what I've seen. And Virginia Tech just ain't it for me to make the list. But you guys, if you have a different opinion, totally fine.
I don't have a different opinion. I actually like Virginia Tech in the top 25, but I don't like them in the top 10 necessarily, just because they haven't been really that good. They were a miss last year as a team. They were very average the last couple of years, I feel like. So I mean, they have that Enter Sandman, but if they're just coming out all hyped up and not putting any progress on the field or showing their or winning games, then it's really not that hard of a place to play. Just got to get through that opening game jitters. So Virginia Tech's a miss for me. They're just miss.
Yep, I
Uh,
think they're a just miss.
yeah, just a miss. I also their home record's not too.
No,
At
they
the end of
haven't
the
been
day, if
good.
these stadiums aren't helping their team win games, then what's the point?
Right.
You know.
Yep.
I absolutely agree.
So, yeah.
Yep. All right, that brings us. Alex, do you want to say another thing before we move on?
No, I was just gonna bring up that they haven't been really that good in I don't know how many years, but I feel like Virginia Tech does get beaten a lot at night and even after Enter Sandman plays, it's just basically Virginia Tech. It's just Virginia Tech at that point. Notre Dame. I remember Notre Dame going into there and cakewalking them. I think.
Yeah, it was a little sketchy there for a little bit. I remember that game because we were down like 31-20 at one point, but we came back and won. So I mean, that was just Virginia Tech doing Virginia Tech things. So,
Yep.
all right, that brings us to our next stadium. We have Neyland Stadium. This is Tennessee. So,
Dang.
Alex, I think I want you to start with this one because I know that you're somewhat of a Tennessee fan. You're a big Rocky Top guy. So, let's hear your take.
Um, I think they belong in the top 10 because they just a few seasons ago almost created an earthquake in Rocky Top because of that Alabama game, and those fans are ruthless. That it's a unbelievable fan base. I mean, let's go back to the Ole Miss game when they came into town to Neyland, and Coach Lane Kiffin was getting golf balls thrown at him. I mean, beer cans, everything, and that's intimidating for a team to go in there. And Ole Miss ended up winning that game, but I definitely believe that they should be at least somewhere. I would be okay with 8 here.
I was thinking more like 6. I think that's a
Okay,
good spot.
that's fine too.
But it's still depending on if we want to split Michigan and Ohio State up later, once we get there. But right now
I'd be okay just taking Ohio State off.
Okay, well that's just a bias coming out. We said we weren't going to be biased this episode.
No, I was kidding.
I know. But I'm good with putting Neyland at 6. I think, like you said, Alex, that they almost registered an earthquake. They've beaten Bama both times. Bama's traveled there,
Mm-hmm.
and when they come out with like their smoky gray uniforms that they used to have, they're all black,
The black, yeah.
or even their just traditional home game uniforms. It's really loud. It's really intense, and it's just such a cool scene to be by. I'm sure it's way cooler in person, but it's such a cool scene just to hear the crowd and on even TV because they're just so loud. So
Yeah.
I like Tennessee at 6.
These fans are the same ones that took the field goal post off and
Oh yeah,
exactly.
took it downtown Tennessee, and yeah, they went 7-0. They went 6-0 or 7-0 at home last year as well. So that definitely, this crowd helps their team win. I would have been fine with 8. If y'all want to put them higher at 6, that's totally fine. I definitely thought there was something wrong with College Football 26 putting them at 12 for hardest.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
I thought so
I did
too.
not agree with that at all.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, if I would have been fine putting them at 8, but I think they're a tougher place to play than Georgia. I just think Georgia has a really good team. So
Yeah, I do too. I'm
I
okay with
agree.
6.
I'd be fine with Tennessee at 7. I'll split the
Yeah,
middle with y'all,
Yeah, okay.
and then we'll put them there. There we go.
that looks good. I like that too. I mean that solves the world problem there. So, all right.
Now here comes a problem for you though, Isaac.
Oh,
Where does the next one go?
This took me a while to think about and talk myself down from being a biased fan, but Notre Dame is next, and this is going to be a miss for me as well. I am not going to have Notre Dame in my top 10. I mean, we've seen them lose to NIU. We've seen them lose to Marshall. We've even seen them lose some heartbreakers like Ohio State at home. I'm not saying it's not a tough place to play because I was at that Indiana game and it was one of the most electric atmospheres I've ever been a part of as like a college football fan. But you can't look past that, those losses at home. And it's not as big as most of these stadiums. I know Husky and Oregon Stadium are smaller, but they're way louder because they're built to hold in sound. Notre Dame is just the cathedral of college football, but it's not my top 10. It's definitely like 11 or 12. I don't agree with them being 21 because that's where the video game
I just
had
about
them
to say
ranked,
that.
and they've had them ranked them there last year. I the lowest I would see them is like 15. So Notre Dame, I love you with all my heart, but you're not in my top 10, unfortunately. I wish you were.
Hey, man, at least your team made the list. The UCLA is not even here. No,
No one shows up for them games, boy.
I do think generally, like Notre Dame, you can't, like we said earlier, you cannot go wrong with either of these teams. You can't go wrong with any of these teams' home stadiums. Notre Dame does get really, really loud. I've watched plenty of Notre Dame games with the Rose at their house, and it's always a good time, especially when the team's winning. But I think I like Isaac's argument. I like that you're being unbiased, and yeah, I also didn't see them on this top 10, unfortunately.
Breaks my heart. Alex?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it sucks, but Notre Dame Stadium doesn't really. You can't compare the Notre Dame Stadium with these ones that are on the list because it's hard, and I do think Notre Dame is on the rise of their hardest. They're one of the hardest places to play, though. I think that stadium and then the fan base is getting more and more behind Marcus Freeman and what he's doing, and we've seen the culture change from Brian Kelly to Marcus Freeman, and I definitely see the fans starting to come back out and maybe make an impact and see what happens. So it'd be cool to see Notre Dame go back in the rise. But this topic just makes me so unbiased that I just want to say one thing that would probably just change everybody's mind. Let's just put Michigan at 5 and then take Ohio State out just to cause no issues anymore.
Hell no. But you know what, Alex? You know what? You bring up a good point. I never thought it was a commitment problem from the fans, I guess, because they always showed out. They always had the stadium mostly sold out every game. But I think it's more of a passion thing for Notre Dame fans. Marcus Freeman has definitely altered the passion that people have for the football team. It's louder. It's on the rise of being a hard place to play. I really do I like where Notre Dame's going. I just can't say that they're now. I'm sure, like in 10 years, I'm sure we could put them in the top 10. And I mean, in my college football game, I got them all the way up to 2 and 1. So,
yeah.
I mean, there's always room for change, and especially with the NIL funds that the alumni or the supporters we get, we could make some upgrades to the stadium. But I don't know. I don't want them to because it's just there's so much history in that building. But
yeah,
I agree with what you're saying. But right now they're not 10. They're not in the top 10, so it's okay. Break my fucking heart, but whatever.
You're the one who did it, bro. You said it.
I know. All right, that brings us to Memorial Stadium in Nebraska.
If we're going off success, they're not in this.
Yeah.
I personally, I don't know. It's close because Nebraska Cornhusker football is all they got out there. They got some passionate fans. I just don't really think it makes a difference, honestly. I don't see them in the top
No,
10.
I don't either.
I don't see
I
it as
don't
a tough
either.
place to play.
I don't think they're in the top 10 either. I mean, if you would have asked me in the early 90s or 2000s, I would have said absolutely. What are you talking about? They've won national championships and they're one of the best teams in America. But now, since like 2005 till now, they've been more than disappointing. It's just
Yep.
that's not what we're supposed to remember Nebraska football as. Not they're supposed to be one of the grittiest, toughest places to play, hardest team to play, but they're just not that anymore, and they've moved on. So yeah, I agree. Memorial Stadium's not in my top 10.
Sorry, Nebraska.
Sorry, Nebraska fans, but maybe Matt Rule can get you back up there, but probably not.
Yeah.
But probably not.
All right. This brings us to Florida's field, and I know Grace is going to get on my ass if I don't say their name right. So it's Ben Hill Griffin Stadium in Florida. It's in Gainesville, Florida. There we go. So I'm gonna let someone else take the floor on this one.
Caleb, go ahead.
All right. Personally, Grayson, I'm really sorry, but Florida just does not seem like. I feel like Florida just does not. I get it, like blowouts and stuff is really cool, but Florida has never screamed to me, kind of like Miami, just not as like a tough place to play. Like their team's good, their team's very, very good, but I think it's kind of like the argument of like, are they actually a hard place to play, or is their team just good? And it's just never struck me that way. So Florida's not making it for me. They might be like in a perfect world, like 13 at best for me, but yeah.
Yep.
You know, I was gonna say maybe they can make a push for 10, just because of their night atmosphere that they have. But yet again, you gotta look at their team success these last couple years since COVID, and they haven't been putting anything on the field that's even worth a damn. So maybe DJ Lagway brings the Gators back to their prime when they were winning national championships with Tebow and all that. But if I'm going to put them anywhere on this list, it would have been 10, but I think they're 11 in my opinion. So I'm good with keeping them off.
Yeah, this one's tough. You would have asked me if Tim Tebow was still there playing quarterback, it would have been a different story. But right now, it can't do it for me. I'm sorry, Grayson. Grayson's going to be so mad.
Sorry, G, but no Gators in this chat.
I also don't think this next one should be on.
I know, and I don't know. I like this stadium, but
this one definitely has a push for 10. But I think for the reasons we put the Husky one there, I mean, we got to see what Arch does with the squad, and maybe it'll become like a really hard place to play. But Texas.
Oh, is this Texas?
Yeah.
No, I thought this was Clemson.
Texas is right here. Clemson's right here, but we can move on to Texas.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
This is Texas.
My fault.
You're good, G. You're good, G.
I was like, is this Texas?
Not on there. I think Texas might be able to make a push, actually. I don't know. I got to get opinions.
I think Texas is a hard place to play. I think as of recently as well. What's his name?
Yep.
I think it's Texas Memorial Stadium in Austin. Especially with the NIL funds they have, the fans are now starting to come back. McConaughey's really helped with the fan passion in this program. I think it really started to get hard when Quinn Ewers was there. But I don't know. I would put them at 10. I would like them at 10. But yet again, I have really no other place for me to put them. If we're not putting Florida on there just because their team wasn't that good for a while, then we can't really put Texas on there because they were in the same boat for like a long time. So
I think we have to put Texas on the list, and we have to say goodbye to Husky Stadium. Unfortunately, I think that's the move.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not saying Texas goes at 10 though. I think Oregon might have to move down, honestly, because I feel like Texas is a tough place to play. Now that I think more about it.
Yeah.
Tougher than Oregon. Texas plays in one of Wait, do they play in one of the two toughest conferences? Are they in the SEC?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Texas
Texas
in the
is.
SEC now.
Okay. Man, I don't know,
I-
boys. I feel like they're right there with Georgia, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. Alex, what were you gonna say, real quick?
Let's just go back to around 2019. Maybe it was 2021. But when Bryce Young was there, they played, and Alabama went to town to Texas, and they only won 10-9,
Huh.
and that was a noon game.
Yeah.
So I definitely think Texas is a really hard place to play, no matter what team no matter what team they kind of are, because we saw a Notre Dame team that was complete trash in 2014, 2015, go to
Take 'em
play at
overtime.
Texas. Yeah, and took Texas to overtime, which was also trash, but that stadium atmosphere was insane.
Yeah, that was the game of mid right there.
It was.
Mid and
It
ass.
was. Yeah.
So I don't know, but yeah, I like.
The way I'm seeing this right now is Texas is a seasoned veteran and being a tough place to play. They deserve a spot on the list. Husky Stadium's just happy to be there right now, and it's cool that they have the record. But does that help them with wins? Previously and historically, probably not so much because their team, if my guesstimator is serving me right, has never been too particularly amazing besides 2022. Or 2023, whenever Michigan won. So,
yeah, 2023.
All right, so we're putting.
They
Texas
were okay
at,
in 2022.
We're putting Texas at 9, Oregon at 10, and then Washington out.
yeah, Washington's out.
Yep.
Sorry, Husky Nation.
Sorry, Husky Nation. All right, that brings us to Clemson.
Skip.
They were good in 2017. That's about it.
Yeah. They're a really hard place to play when Trevor Lawrence was there. I'm not sure. I mean, Notre Dame just lost at Death Valley in a 3:30 game 2 years ago, and Cade Klubnik's really he's good, but he's not that good like Trevor Lawrence was when the Tigers were making playoffs and winning national championships. I mean, the game that I keep thinking about was when Notre Dame traveled down there in I think it was
2015.
Was it 2015? Maybe it was. I don't know. It was the first year that it was when Deshaun Watson was there. So
yeah,
it was a monsoon. It was so shitty. It was Notre Dame was constantly just getting the first half. Notre Dame was getting their ass kicked. It was so upsetting to watch. And then halftime, we're starting to make a comeback. And at one point, we scored a touchdown. And I think we either went for 2 to tie the game or win the game. And we needed 2 yards. That's literally it. And Clemson's D-line stood us up, and they won the game. And I think the fans had a big part of that, of just being committed and just being loud and so obnoxious to play for the other team to play there. So if it was before 2021, I would have had them on this list. But I think they're like another case for 11 or 12. So
yeah, I'm just trying to think them versus Oregon. I don't think Clemson's a harder place to play than anywhere above 9. And I don't know, my gut's just telling me Oregon's a tougher place to play right now.
Which
agreed.
You're completely entitled to that thought because I agree.
Yeah, I also agree.
So, all right. So Clemson just misses too. And that I think this is our last stadium because all the rest of these are.
What's the second one there?
This is. I think this was.
So is it South Carolina?
That's Oklahoma.
This is South Carolina. This is the last one we haven't done yet.
Then what's the red one that's past Iowa?
This is. Oh wait, we haven't done this one. That's Florida State.
I was about to say, where's Florida State?
But okay, so this is South Carolina. We'll just do Florida State right now because I. All right, can we just agree that South Carolina is not gonna be on the list?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. South Carolina's off. Sorry, Beamer Ball and all the cock fans, but
South Carolina might
Pause.
be 20. I'm not gonna lie.
But yeah, I don't know. They have Lenora Sellers, and they play one song that gets the student section all riled up, but other than that, they're really not that notable. So
They ain't. I also okay. I'm gonna start this Florida State one. The only thing that is notable to me about Florida State is the Florida State chop. The thing that they do at literally every game, and yeah, they are loud. But if you think of Florida State, you think of that. And other than that, they aren't anything anymore. Clearly, like this last 2 years, we have seen no improvement from the Seminoles.
They won 2 games last year. I
Yeah.
mean, the year before they absolutely got just screwed over and they didn't make the playoffs and they should have.
Oh yeah, you're right. It has only been 2 years. So
But last
the
year
last
was
year,
embarrassing as a
Yeah.
Seminoles fan. I'm
Yeah.
not one of them, but I'm sure it was embarrassing. Caleb, what do you have any thoughts about this?
No, I really don't. Again, you just have to. Florida State's not. Just my gut's telling me that Florida State doesn't belong on the list over the teams you already have up there. They probably would have been on there as like a 9 or 10 if we would have started with them. Like if they were at the beginning of all these teams, but I don't think they would have found their way on the list by the end of it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if Florida State would have put together another winning season this year, and if they had a couple winning seasons the years prior to 2023, they would have been on this list. Like especially in 2015 or 2017 when Everett Golson, I'm just quoting Notre Dame games left and right just because I remember all these losses and they broke my heart. But Everett Golson and Brian Kelly and the gang went down there and we got screwed. We should have won that game because of a bullshit offensive pass interference call, but whatever. And then that opening opening part of the runouts for the teams, everybody in the stadium was doing that Florida State chop. It was insane. It was so loud, and I was sitting at Great Wolf Lodge at the time, and I'm like damn near shitting my pants because of this. So like, these are the things that, like, I don't forget those games just because of how iconic and like how like legendary that atmosphere was. So, but they're not that anymore, and I feel bad because Florida State was really good back then. But all right, like that leaves us with an open position at 6, and we still have Michigan and Ohio State at 5.
Yeah, I mean, I know where I stand on this. Big House is a tougher place to play in my book. Ohio State,
hands down.
In my mind, their stadium is only hard to play at because they have had very, very good teams. And being a very, very good team, you're going to get a driven, dedicated fan base, and it's going to be a tough place to play regardless. Michigan with the Big House is too iconic for me to give that edge over Ohio State. Now, Isaac, I would love to hear your counter argument, and if you can get me to agree with you, I will vote Ohio State.
You know, I don't really have a counter argument. I mean, the only thing I really have is like Michigan. The stadium doesn't hold sound in well, and I can't really knock them for that just because they hold 111,000. It's still loud. Like you can't tell me that 111,000 people is not loud because
Ohio State had 6 false starts in the 2021 game.
Right, I've literally been ear raped by that stadium, so I can't. I've never been to Ohio State Stadium, so this might be a little bit of a bias. But if we're going by team success as of recently or prior, Michigan's won 1,000 games. Ohio State's won 972 or something like that. And I do really like I hate Ohio State, but I really like their stadium just because of like how electric the fan base and they make it. It's cool.
It sucks because they're both so similar, you know. Michigan has the Big House. They got that whole iconic thing, but they're both so similar, like weather-wise. They're both like good teams normally. They're a hard place to play regardless because they're both cold in the wintertime and stuff. So, I mean, and they both play outdoors. I just think
both hold an insane amount of history.
Like that's what I was gonna say. I wouldn't be opposed to having them like tied at 5 because I really like them both, and we can just we can move everybody up and put one more team at 10.
What would that be?
We'd have to talk about it.
Notre Dame.
No, hell no, not Notre
just
Dame.
kidding.
I'm sorry, but
just kidding. No, I don't think we should change it at all.
I
Period.
think I think this is honestly like I think this
The
is how
best
we got
list.
to leave it because Alex and I both voted for Michigan to be above. Isaac, you could have your only chance of getting your way was by convincing me, but I don't know.
I can't.
Yeah, it's tough. I think Big House is just too iconic for me, and maybe I'm just like unaware of the like culture that Ohio State has with their school. I just think they have a good team, and
Yeah.
I don't know if their home stadium is necessarily making their wins easier. So
Right. And you know what? I was thinking a lot about how Ohio State's night atmosphere is really, really cool. But Ohio State hasn't had an iconic night game in God for so long.
yeah,
I
I
was
can't
just
think
gonna
of one
mention
last
some.
I
year.
always see them playing at 12 p.m. on
Yeah.
Yeah.
rain or
Big
snow
noon
days.
games.
So lame.
Like I can't think of a notable night game that they've had in the last, I don't know, two years maybe. They hosted Michigan State 2 years ago, and
Oh
I don't
yeah,
even know.
they got freaking whooped.
Oh yeah, I don't even know who they hosted the year before that. So I'm gonna putting Ohio State at 6.
Yeah,
I'm
all
just
right.
gonna
We're
just
all in
solidifying the debate here. Let's look at some notable night games for Michigan in the last few years. 2021 against Washington, the first maze out game that we've had in forever. The first play for that was also a false start or a delay game for Washington. Let's go to every time Michigan State comes into play. This past year, I got to go to my first one I've gone to in forever, actually ever. That was really loud, and we ended up winning that game by a score. The Ohio State games, the last 2 years I've been there when they've played. What's another one? The freaking Hawaii. Just kidding. No. Well, there was another game that was mentioned, but even though Michigan has been really recently good in the last few years, and then the previous years they've been bad, it still doesn't matter that this stadium is still one of the hardest places to play. We could if no, let's say Alabama was crap, and do you really think that we would be saying that their stadium is at 4 if they were an awful team? No, I don't think we would have been putting them at 4. So, I think the solidify at Michigan should be at 5, and I believe that's the right choice.
Yep, can't argue with that. All
Yeah,
right.
looks like we got our list, folks.
We got our list, folks. We got Beaver Stadium, Penn State at 1, LSU Tiger Stadium at 2, or known as Death Valley, number 2. Texas A&M Kyle Field at 3, Bryant Denny Stadium at 4 for Alabama, Michigan's Big House at 5, Ohio State's The Shoe at 6. We have Neyland Stadium at 7. We have Stanford Stadium at 8. We have Texas Stadium at 9. And then we have Autzen Stadium of Oregon at 10. And then the teams that just missed, we had Oklahoma, Iowa, Virginia Tech, Notre Dame, Nebraska, Florida, Washington, Clemson, South Carolina, and Florida State. So
I think we made the right choices, fellas. It was sad to see
It
was sad. I went 2 for 3. Husky Stadium did not end up making it, but boy, they were close.
They were close.
They were fighting.
They were on the list for the majority of the app, so I like that.
Yep.
So
Now, maybe the next episode we do 11 through 15 or 11 through
20.
Whatever. 20.
Maybe, but I think I have an episode idea that I could talk to you guys about after we end the app. But it's kind of like we
come back for next episode.
Yeah, so there's a little foreshadow there for you guys who listen to our diehard fans of You Don't Know Ball. So make sure you guys come back. But that's gonna wrap it up for this episode, I believe. If anybody else doesn't have any comments to say,
no, we good. We ran long today.
We did run. This is a long ep, so we appreciate you guys all staying and listening. This is was probably one of my favorite episodes, to be honest with you. It's really fun for me. I like doing this kind of stuff. But,
yeah, no, it was really good to get back in the swing of things. We've had so much fun with chat. We forgot how fun real life was.
Yeah.
I'm out of my
got
little
out of-
world with Funky Kong being the MVP.
We got out of our hypothetical world, so it's good to be in the real world again. But go subscribe, follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Go check out the merch store. Help the small business vendor we have. Thank you, Miss Emily Pettit. Congrats on the most recent wedding for them. So Grant and Emily Pettit now. And then remember, you don't know ball, we don't know ball, we all don't know ball. We'll see you in the next episode. Peace.
Peace out.